Okay, here I am. There you go. Yeah, that was fun. Oh, hold on.
Thanks so much.
Thanks for coming in. Yeah.
So much sugar.
See you later. I had been trying to start this live stream for an hour. Over an hour. This computer, sometimes when it's not a super monster of a computer, and I've got the two USB cameras going into it, some other USB crap going into it. Like and one of them is this wireless camera here. Ever since I plugged in the wireless camera, I've had some glitchy things happen. So before I start a stream, usually what I do is I just restart the computer, and then that kind of makes it all fresh and happy, and because it's been on and running for a week with, you know, these cameras being used or not used or whatever. So usually when I restart the computer. So that's what I did. It was about, I don't know, it's right around 9 o'clock. I'm like, oh, I'm going to start a live stream. We were actually pretty busy all day, and I was going to start it. I thought about doing it at 8 o'clock, but we were too busy. I just couldn't do it. So at 9 o'clock I started. I reset the computer, and the computer came up on the screen that says no valid drive, no operating system type error, right? I'm like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. So I started farting around with that, and I could not get the computer to boot after I restarted it. Like, what? Seriously, did the drive just fail? And so in between, like, helping customers and doing all this other stuff, I have to troubleshoot this nonsense. I had this jump drive in the USB in the back. I don't usually have this jump drive plugged into it, but it's set. The BIOS is set to look at jump drives first. Of course, there's like a movie on this. No operating system. Well, of course, it's not going to start. So when I finally tracked this thing down, I'm like, oh, okay, well, there you go. So then I couldn't figure out why the audio wasn't working. So I'm dicking around with the audio, trying to figure that nonsense out. The receiver for the wireless mic was unplugged, and it was almost out of juice because it's been unplugged for a week because I used the cable for something else. I was rushing around. I had to just grab that cable. I forgot to plug it back in again. So it's been running for, well, I mean, that's something to be said for the battery life in that receiver, that it's been sitting there chugging away for a week, I guess. Less than 5 days at least. And it had 3% charge on it, but it wouldn't connect back up. In fact, I need to charge this. This is the little box that the wireless mics, there's one in here. The receiver sits in here, and then the other one sits in here. And this actually has a battery in it, so you plug it in USB, it'll charge it. Right now there's one dot on there. That means that I don't think I've charged this since we moved into this space. So when we're done using the mics, the wireless mics, we pop them in here and they just charge. So that's also something to be said about this battery pack, that we've done, I don't know how many live streams since we moved in here, and I don't think I've ever charged this the whole time since November. So that's pretty good. This is a Holyfield mic set. I don't know if I can read what it says. Holyfield Lark Max. That's what this is, and it, yeah, no complaints there. So when I first got this all up and going again, there was no sound, and that's because that was all screwed.
Sure it is.
people in here still? Yeah, so then I finally got that going, and but then right when I was getting ready to start the stream, someone comes up and says, "Oh, a flipper is locked up on one of the machines back there on Lethal Weapon." That can sometimes be a really bad thing, so I had to go and take care of that. Luckily, it was just the spring. It wasn't like a seized coil or a locked on coil or anything fantastic like that. It was something simple, which was nice. In that one, the coil stop has 2 screws, and there's a little bracket on one of those screws on the coil stop that the spring attaches to, and that screw had come out. And that's actually not the first time it's come out of there. I need to put a lot of times I'll put for screws that have a tendency to fall out, I'll put a little bit of glue, a little bit of goop, or something like that. That's usually enough to hold them in place. It's Loctite is so expensive that I thought I would try goop stuff, or E6000 is the other thing I'll use. And usually that's all you need. It's just a little bit of extra something in there to hold it, to grip it so it doesn't come loose. But then when you need to pop it off of there and unscrew it, it usually unscrews like there was no adhesive on it at all. So it works fairly well. I'm a big fan of using goop or E6000 on screws that have a tendency to plop off underneath the playfield. Lethal Weapon there was a bunch that would fall off on that one. I have another machine in here that it was constantly having stuff fall off of it. I don't remember which one it was. And that's what I was like, screw it, I'm gonna start gluing this crap in there. JRSC, hey, you're back. I see some new additions too. New lights dotted around. Yes. Okay, so you can see the 2 guys in the video back here. I'll switch over to video arcades. So the 2 guys sitting in there, that's the little I used to have 2 little 1-ups. I have that Street Fighter one, and then I had Rampage. Rampage just shit itself. It's not working. I don't know what's going on with it. Don't care. It's in the back. I kind of opened it up. I tried to tinker with it. I spent all of 5 minutes on it. Went, yeah, don't care. I cut it for like that. So, oh, this camera's glitchy. Oh no. Let's go back. Anyway, so if you look, those used to be over next to Big Guns, kind of underneath me. And now there's that baseball game. That's World Series The Season right there. I don't have the marquee for it yet, but yeah, cute little baseball game in 1984, I think is when that one was from, something like that. And then on the wall where I just was, you can see I have more lights, more of those curtains on the wall, and they're sort of sound reactive. I could go over to, hold on a second here. Trying to get Camera Safari Adventure Time working here. Why you don't work? What's wrong with you? Oh, I'm not plugged into the right Wi-Fi. I think I need to get this. Boy, everything is going wrong today. smooth all out. There you go. Hold on just 1 second. That was weird. Just little problems left and right. Alright, let's go over to Camera Safari Adventure Time. There you go. Now you can see them. So those lights up there. So those are the Govey curtain lights that I had at the other location. What about this one? No, not that one. Don't want that one. What's this one? No, we don't want that one. What am I even doing? Come on. Yeah, so those were at the other location, and I had hung rods from the ceiling to hang those 3 curtain lights up on, but to do that meant I have to pull all of the pinball machines away from the wall. It was one of those things like we had prepped for it, we were ready to go, whatever. I forget what day I was in. Monday or something. I forget what day it was. I was in here. Everybody had cleared out. We closed at 8. Everybody had cleared out by like 7:15 or something. So I was taking care of some little fiddly bits around here, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do this. And so I pulled all of the machines away from all of the machines except for Big Lebowski. Got pulled away from the wall by 5 feet or something. I got on my big 12-foot ladder and dug these things out of a box and laid them all down and got them all ready to go. And I had a couple other things that I wanted to do right over there. So above the bay door, we have some lights, and I just kind of kept adding lights, and I put the open sign up, and then I added some other lights, and I added some other lights, and it was just sort of like extension cords kind of. So I wanted to clean all that up. And then I have a subwoofer in here, and there's a music computer in the workshop, and the amp for it is in the workshop, and then all the speakers in here are along the light bar that goes around the room. And then the subwoofer, because that was added later, we had it down in the workshop, but then I moved it upstairs up there because it could really be anywhere in the room. I figured I'll put it up there and it'll broadcast out over the thing. And that was fine, except for when you wanted to be, Sophia sometimes works from here. She's up at that desk up there, and all she hears is thud, thud, thud. So I had to get that out of there. So that just hooks up, it hardwires into the amplifier by way of a single RCA cable. So I ran the RCA cable across and out, and that subwoofer is now sitting under like Royal Flush or Hurricane over there. It's like right on the floor right over there somewhere. I don't know. So I wanted to get that moved over too. So got kind of a lot done in about 3 hours or something like that. And it's nice to have those lights up there on the wall. Kind of finish that side of the room, right? Glockenspiel Pickle, hey, how are ya? It sort of just adds a little something extra. Like that wall was very plain, and I do have I had screwed 2x4 to the wall. You can actually see it about halfway through those curtains hanging there. You can see the little line there. That's a 2x4 that goes all the way across the room, and they're just screwed into the wall because that's cinder block, so it's kind of hard to hang shit off of. So I thought, well, I'll just hang this 2x4 up while I've got a scissor lift in here and nothing else is in here. We'll paint it black with everything else, and then when I want to hang crap on the wall, and I could bolt it to this, I just would screw it into these 2x4s. And I haven't really done anything with it yet. It was a good idea, but I haven't used it. And now that I have those light curtains there, I don't know if hanging stuff in between those light curtains is a good idea or not, but yeah, I like the little starlight thing. It has that sort of 50s vibe to it. And I can change it to other things. Right, this is coming down, and let's go to this one. Yeah, you can kind of see it up there. This one better? That one's worse. That's okay. Alright, let's do this. And then there's actually a few options for different sound reactive stuff. I'll change the middle one so you can kind of see that one. So you can do, this one's kind of cool. This one's called Floating Mist. And the color flip one is kind of cool. Alright, go back to that thing. Hold on a second. There you go. That's the one of the other modes you can do. That's sound reactive. Actually, I can keep this here. Oh, here we go. This one's called Spectrum. Flip these things around too. This one's kind of cool. But I like the stars because they're sort of they're not so bright. There's something going on up there, but it's not obnoxious. I kind of like that. Goes all over. Glockenspiel Pickle, you're tired but good. Why are you tired? JRSC says that looks great. That curtain light set. It's just. I like just a little flashy stuff because it's not super obnoxious. And then the one over on the other side I actually changed that. Um, it's 5 scenes. There's a couple of Pac-Man ones. There's one that just says Pinballorama and it just scrolls across in purple. I made a big Space Invader dude with a purple background. And each one of those stays up on, and then there's a big rainbow one, and they stay up on there for 10 seconds, 15 seconds, something like that, and then they change the scene. The big purple and the Space Invader is, the background is purple, and then the Space Invader is yellow, and that's sort of like, oh, when it kicks on. Work, life, school, the usual. Yeah, I know what that is. Yeah. What time is it now? It's 10:35. All right. Man, it was one of those days today where it was just, just people coming in left and right. A lot of tourists. Slow start to the day though. It was really weird. Like, we had a party scheduled at, what time was that? So we opened at noon. We had a party scheduled at 1:30, and we didn't have anybody in here until 1:30 for that party. We didn't have anybody in here until the party came in. That was 10 people. After that, that sort of like sparked. Oh, hold on. Oh, that's too far forward. Oh, look at that!
But look at the score, though. That's me. What did we see in the last one?
It's such a fun game. It's a great game. It's probably one of my favorite games.
I think I do want this VR face someday. And it's weird to find. Right?
If I could get another one, I would. You can have it. There's a place you can take yourself. Yeah. So, what was I saying? Oh yeah, we had it was mellow until the party came in, and then and then people just started coming in. Yeah, it was crazy. And it's just been kind of steady. We haven't had. This is the slowest it's been all day right now. We've got 4 people in here right now, I think. So I think there's 2 other people. Oh, they're playing baseball. Awesome. I gotta go and check this out. Hold on a second. Sorry, I wanted to talk to them about the baseball game because I got the baseball game in the back is World Series the season 1984, I think is what it is, 84, 85, something like that. And I just brought it in the other day, so I was they look like they're having fun playing it, so I wanted to like just kind of check and see what they thought about it. I need to get a marquee for it. There's a place in the States that has one. I thought I have the graphics. I thought about just printing something out to stick on there for now. And, it has a piece of coroplast. I did a video on that game because it had a CRT monitor in it when I got it, and the CRT monitor is fine. It needs a cap kit kind of thing, but it's bright, it's clear. It has some little roll at the top, and it's filthy. It needs to just be hosed down, just cleaned up and stuff. But I'm sure that the CRT on it is a prime candidate to be refurbished, and it'll probably last a nice long time. But that game doesn't necessarily need it. I wanted to get something else in here, so I just swapped it out with the flat screen that I had and brought it in. And it's turning along. It's fine. It doesn't have, from what I can tell, there's no free play mode, so I need to get a credit button somewhere on there, but I'm not sure where. And I need to add, I have on Snow Bros, I have the credit switch wired to player 1, to start player 1. So to add credits to it, you hit player 1 button, start player 1, and it adds a credit. But sometimes it glitches, but it works fine. I'm doing that on a few of them. I'm doing that on Genesis. I'm doing the pinball machine Genesis, because it doesn't, the free play on that's funky. So I've got it on there, one of the shooter games back, a couple of them I've done that. But the baseball game's a little bit different, because as player 1 and player 2 start button, but I think it'd be better to just put a dedicated add credit button on it, and maybe I'll do something uniform. I don't want to drill out coin doors, but at the same time, none of these cabinets and none of this stuff is like super perfect. Maybe I'll drill a cabinet and then get a blue backlit button and then put a sign on it that says add credit button. So all of my add credit buttons are uniform, and since they're backlit blue, people will notice them. I don't know. Usually I just go around and I keep adding credits to it, and it seems to work. I've added credits to the baseball game a couple times today. Someone has wired in. It actually has the coin door on that. It's from a pinball machine, and it's got the 3. It's from like a Williams type machine where it's got the 3 buttons, or maybe no, like a Daddy East. It's got the 3 buttons on it. And one of those buttons has been programmed to be an add credit. So it's pretty easy to open up the door and mash the button. I am tired. Woke up last night. Actually, I don't know when it was. Had a massive lightning storm go over our house. And it was loud. Man, the thunder was like, it must have been right over us. And woke me up, and then I dozed to sleep, and then it went off again. And it wasn't just like boom boom crash. It was like 3 or 4 thunder explosions, kind of one right after the other. And I like the second or third time I woke up, I was like, I should get up and watch this. But I was so tired, I just tried to get back to sleep. Then it woke me up again. I probably woke up like 5 times. It was, and I'm not sure exactly how long it was going on, because I was dozing back off again and then waking back up when it went off again. So it might have just been 15 or 20 minutes, or it could have been an hour. I have no idea. When Sophia and I drove across country, moving here, we have a Grand Caravan, and then we put a trailer hitch on it. We have a little bowler, little like 13-foot bowler, little tiny 70s thing, camper. And the bowler is like all original. Like, I think the only thing they've done on it that is not original is someone put down like a little linoleum type floor on it. But other than that, like everything about it's original. And so we're driving across. We decided the last travel day that we had, and I don't remember what days they were, but let's say it was the last travel day was some Friday, let's say. We were going to drive an extra long Friday just to get here to the house. And but then we realized we were probably going to get in really late. And we didn't know about, like, there was no electrical at the house. There was probably no water at the house. Well, there was no water because we were on a well pump. So there's no electrical, no water, no this or that or whatever. So we thought, well, screw it. We'll drive kind of a shorter day on Friday. We'll spend the night at this campground, and then we'll leave the campground early on Saturday, and then we'll only have to drive 2 hours or whatever it was to get to PEI and get to our house. And it was a little bit nicer for our realtor to meet us, and we could meet in the afternoon or whatever. So the campground that we stayed at was in New Brunswick. And I don't remember the name of it, but it was actually kind of a nice little place. Frogs everywhere, man. This would have been September, I guess, end of September. And I just remember we were camped in one little area, and then there was a paved walkway that took you down to where the showers and the washrooms and all the other stuff are. And when I was walking down there, I'm like, man, there's a lot of leaves on the ground. But as I'm walking, the leaves are hopping away from me. There's just frogs everywhere. It was really cool. So that night, it was a little rainy. It wasn't a little misting and whatever. At some point, we had there's a little hatch that has a little pull chain to lower the hatch that's in the middle of the bowler, and it's kind of right over where the bed is. So there's a dining room, or like a dining type thing that folds down into a double bed. So we're sleeping on that, and this little air vent is open. We got the side curtains, the side windows are open and everything. Warm night. We wake up to a torrential downpour, and it was so loud that it was just a rain that woke us up hitting this little camper, and it was just water was dripping in through this thing above us. So I reached up and I pulled the pull chain, and it broke, and the thing popped all the way open because it's spring loaded. It pops all the way open, so now water's coming down, and then thunder and lightning started, and it was like a disco outside. It was just right over us, just lightning after lightning after lightning. It's so loud, and we're just laying there soaking wet. There's water coming in. We're wet from the water coming in on the sides, and we had both woken up, but we're just laying there just giggling. It was just so ridiculous. So I managed to get the door kind of closed. I don't remember what I had done to get it closed. And then everything sort of settled down. And then and we both dozed back off to sleep. And then maybe a half an hour later, it all started again. It was really cool. It was a really cool, awesome ending to this 12-day trip, I think it was, across the country. But it was just, it was really memorable, and just pulling that chain and having the thing open all the way, and then just like water coming. It was just like cartoonishly silly. And we were both just giggling about it. It was funny as hell. Yeah. And then we woke up the next day and drove across and got to our house. And our house, the week or two before, hurricane had gone over the house, over the island. So we didn't know exactly. We were told that there was really no damage done, but the workshop lost a bunch of roofing shingles. The inside was all wet. It was pretty raw. cement floor, 2x4 studs, kind of a shitty upstairs kind of thing. And then shingle. You could see, standing in the middle of the workshop, you could see the sky. So that was some damage that we didn't expect. But we managed to get a guy in to fix that fairly quickly. We just had him re-roof the whole half of it. The back side was okay, it was the front side was bad. We didn't have heat. We didn't have water. We didn't have electricity. We got the electrical turned on fairly quickly, but we had an oil furnace, and we didn't want to use oil. We wanted to convert that to something else. So I never filled the tank. We basically got the tank removed, and then I ripped out the furnace, and so I sold it for like $50 or something just to get it out of there. The water took us a little while to get going because we have a well, and we couldn't drink. We could use the water for like clothes, toilets. Like the well pump was working, everything was working, but it just was not safe to drink. Had a little bit of bacteria and stuff in it, and so I bought everything we needed. I had never worked with a well. I'd never had a well before. So I didn't really know how to deal with the plumbing aspect of a well. So I actually hired a guy to come in. There were no shut-off valves anywhere on there, so I hired the guy to come in. He added shut-off valves. So it comes out of the ground to a pump. From the pump, it goes to a pressure tank. For the pressure tank, we added a sediment filter, then it goes to a UV filter, and then it goes up to the house. And then there's room there so I could add, like, if I wanted to add a charcoal filter or something like that. I ended up adding that to the sink upstairs in the kitchen instead of the whole house because my toilet doesn't need carbon filter. And he added shut-off valves everywhere so I could work on it later. And once we got that, then we had water. Then we had a heat pump installed. And then we had heat, but that was, we spent at least a month in there with just the stuff that we brought with us in the bowler trailer and whatever we bought new. So there was no fridge, we had to buy a fridge. So we were using this little crappy fridge in the bowler for a little while. We bought a little tiny, like a bar fridge, kind of like the one that I've got back here. We bought one of those because we didn't know what kind of fridge we wanted for the kitchen. So we had one of those that we were using for stuff. Then we bought a propane range. Had a propane tank installed because we figured that'd be good if the power goes out. We can still cook on the stovetop. But yeah, that first month we had no heat. We were sleeping on an air mattress in the living room. There were no floors. The house was pretty raw. It needed a bit of work. And, yeah, it was fun. It was like camping and we were squatting in the house. Like cardboard boxes for furniture. And I couldn't do a lot of work because all my tools were on the shipping container that was being delivered. Shipping container took 35, 45 days to arrive after we got here. And then I had 2 more shipping containers that had all the pinball machines and everything else. We waited until spring. It was probably summer when those were delivered. I wasn't in a rush because COVID hit and we couldn't do anything anyway, so we had them stored over in a lot in BC. And then, yeah, it was probably more like summer that I called and had them delivered then. Yeah, it was a fun trip. It was memorable, right? It's like not your usual kind of thing. It's warm here. It's 21 outside right now, but it's supposed to be 27 tomorrow outside, so it's going to be a little rough. I was gonna have a heat pump installed in this place on Tuesday, and that didn't really pan out because the company that I contacted them on the 23rd, and I said I need a quote. I need to give a quote to the building owners because they may want to split the cost with me to install a heat pump. And I also need them to sign off on the project because you can't install anything in someone else's building without them giving me the thumbs up. So I never got any information from them. And then I was bugging them a few days ago, like, can we get this? And it just, the guy didn't get it to me in time, so we had to cancel because we didn't have permission to install it, so we had to cancel. And I've been getting quotes from other companies. We'll probably go with this company. Their price is the cheapest. And their general manager, I wasn't very happy about it because we had already waited to have this thing installed, and then we're getting pushed back on our date now and everything. But the general manager's giving me like $250 off the install if we go with them. So we'll. So I don't know how soon they'll be able to get that in. They actually did, after I canceled, they did get me a quote. So I think probably tonight I'll forward that off to the building owners because whether it's them or someone else that does it, it's really not the same, I guess. So far I haven't had a quote that is going to be better than what they offered, so we'll see. I have a few more quotes I'm waiting for, but hopefully they'll be able to get us in quickly. Because they sort of dropped the ball on us, so we'll see. And the guys who are rebuilding the back corner, they were doing the unit next to us on that end. They were working on that today. I don't think they finished. I didn't even think about it until the other day. I was talking to them. They come in. It's basically the brick that is where a back door is, and it's about 5 feet wide. It goes up to the top of the building. There's a door in the middle of it. A couple other little things. That brickwork is starting to crumble for some reason. All the other bricks are fine, but over each door, you've got bricks kind of cracking and stuff. So they all need to be replaced. So they're doing each suite at different times. So the first one took them like 4 or 5 days or something. They were going to do ours next, but I wish that they would have because we were still closed on Monday, Tuesday. So I was like, start on Monday, get it done on Tuesday, and you have until Wednesday. And I even offered to be closed on Wednesday, but then they were still their 4th day in. I was like, I don't want to be closed on Wednesday if they're not finished by Wednesday. And they were working on another one, so we were sort of judging what was going on. So it didn't work out. So they're going to have to work on it when we're open. So we're going to have to build a fake wall back there, false wall, to close that all in so they can work while we're open. And you don't know. They're doing all the cutting and stuff somewhere else. So once they do the demo, it's not going to make a whole lot of noise. So they can do the demo before we open.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for coming in. So one thing that didn't even occur to me, they would do the demo, they'd get the demo done in a day easily. In fact, they did the demo from whatever morning, and they were done by the time I got here at noon on one of the other units. Then they would get the bricks in, and they'd load the bricks up, and they get to the one above the door, and then they would basically stop. Thanks for coming in, guys. See you next time. And that's it. We're closed. Hold on just a second. Hey Google, we're closed. So they would get to the
Have a good night, dummy.
brick line above the door, and then they wouldn't do anything else for the rest of the day. And it didn't even occur to me. I'm like, why are they stopping right there? But I was talking to us like because it's the header, right? It's carrying the load. So that particular one, it's got a bunch of rebar and a bunch of extra cement and all this other gobbledygook in there, and then they've got to let the cement cure because that's what's going to carry the rest of the load above the door. So it takes them a day to do the demo and that first run up to the door, and then once they do that, then they can pretty much bang out the rest of it another day. It looks they're really kind of doing 3 days, so they do that first part. The second day they come in, they do the runs from the door up, and then I think the very ending bit is a little fidgety, and so sometimes that takes a little bit extra time. But so hopefully they'll be able to do it in 3 days here. But they're going to build a false wall on the plan is that they're going to build a false wall on the inside here, and then we're just going to leave it. So we need to get the building owners to sign off on that because they didn't quote them out to build a false wall and all that. Our back wall here is it's brick, and then in front of the brick there's a 2x4 studded wall, but it's the 2x4s are every 24 inches insulation in there, and then I think it's 1/2 inch plywood floor to ceiling there. So that's kind of what we're going to do in the corner. That's what we want to do in the corner is just do a 1/2 inch drywall. We can do it's 5 inch or 5 feet, about 5 feet wide. So we'll do it a little bit more than 24 on center. We'll just basically 2x4 on one side, 2x4 on the other side, and then one smack dab in the middle. It's not structural. It's just basically there. Basically, it's there to hide the brickwork being done, and then we don't have to remove it when they're done. So, and we'll just hose that down in black paint. So we'll see what happens. I'm gonna let them do a couple more of them before they do ours because we're the only place that's going to be open when it's done, and I want them to get they'll get to really know how to do the project by the time they get to ours. So maybe we'll be the last ones, but we don't want to wait too long. But oh, sorry, I didn't even see that Cocktail said I hate the heat, so I sucked it up and bought an air conditioner. When I lived up north, it was tolerable because of breeze from the lake. It's for the most part here, it's been fine. We have some muggy days. I don't do well in the heat. Like you get me over 24 degrees and that's it. I'm gonna start to wilt. I like about 20 degrees is sort of where I'm comfortable, and I like the cold. I like the snow and the cold and the ice and the burr. Anyway, I'm gonna close. I'm gonna close up, and I'm gonna go home. And I'm going to eat dinner. So it was kind of a bumpy start to get my my stream going, but I managed to do it, and we streamed for all of 55 minutes, so that's better than nothing, I guess. All right, guys, I'm going to head out. I'm going to stop the stream, and what day is it tomorrow? What day is it today? I don't even know what's going on. Tomorrow's Sunday, yeah. So I'm not going to stream tomorrow. Don't think I'll stream tomorrow. Short day tomorrow, only till 7. So, all right, we'll see you guys later. Thanks for coming in and hanging out with me. Bye.